What will the eternal heaven be like? Will we be floating around on clouds playing harps? I don't want to do that. Will it be an endless church service? Listen, I love a good worship service and a great sermon, but really, I don't want an endless church service. What will the eternal heaven be like? Hebrews chapter 11, verse 8. By faith, Abraham, when called to go to a place he would later receive as his inheritance, obeyed and went, even though he did not know where he was going. By faith, he made his home in the promised land like a stranger in a foreign country. He lived in tents, as did Isaac and Jacob, who were heirs with him of the same promise. For he was looking forward to the city with foundations, whose architect and builder is God. Well, we've already discovered that God is not about to give up on his creation. So what will the eternal heaven be like? And at the risk of saying the same thing over again, God is not just into the spiritual. God is a God who made all things, loves all things, and wants to redeem all things. He's not going to give Satan anything to gloat over or anything to be happy about. Romans chapter 8, verses 18 to 23 says, creation groans as it waits for the sons of God to be revealed. Creation itself has been subject to futility since the fall of mankind, and yet it's longing for its redemption. 2 Peter chapter 3, verses 10 to 13. But the day of the Lord will come like a thief. The heavens will disappear with a roar, and the elements will be destroyed by fire, and the earth and everything in it will be laid bare. Since everything will be destroyed in this way, what kind of people ought you to be? You ought to live holy and godly lives as you look forward to the day of God and speed its coming. That day will bring about the destruction of the heavens by fire, and the elements will melt with heat. But in keeping with his promise, we are looking forward to a new heaven and a new earth where righteousness dwells. Revelation 21, verses 1 to 4, talk about a new heaven and a new earth coming down, and no longer any corruption, no longer any death or mourning or crying or pain in this new creation. There won't be a cemetery. There won't be a hospital. You'll never hear a siren. There'll be no armies. All the things of this realm and this order will be gone and passed away. No death, no sickness, no crying, no pain, no sin. Make sure you think like a Christian and not like a Greek who would say, oh, the material world means nothing, or a Hindu. No, we are Christians. God made everything and called it good. And this is important. But didn't Jesus say heaven and earth will pass away? Well, it will in its present broken, corrupt form. But again, in keeping with his promise, we're looking forward to a new heaven and a new earth. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 14. For here we do not have an enduring city. That's important. But we are looking for the city that is to come. The eternal heavens will be more real than what we know. Jesus' resurrection body was the beginning of a whole new creation. And the image in the book of Revelation is the image of a city. Now, think of city minus sin. It's a place of refuge and safety, fellowship and relationship, culture and creativity. And the book of Revelation, in Revelation chapter 21, and you can read the scripture yourself, talks about a city, a glorious city, and it pictures it as a cube. It's a huge cube, by the way. The area of that cube is 40 times bigger than England. Okay, it's 2,200 square miles cubed. I don't know if that's literal or a picture. But there's one other place in the Bible where there was a cube, and that was in the Holy of Holies. And it was the place where Israel saw God dwelling in holiness. It's not an accident that that's now in Revelation in the eternal heavens. And what it tells us is that this is a place where God dwells in holiness. There's no more sin, but he dwells in holiness with us, with his redeemed people from every tribe, tongue, and nation. And if you open up the passage in Revelation 21, verses 9 to 27, and it's filled with symbolism, but it's there to teach us what heaven will be like, the eternal heaven. It's founded on the gospel. It's the holy place where God dwells. God the Father and Jesus Christ are its focus and its center. All redeemed cultures and people will be there. God is not going to obliterate culture. He's going to redeem culture. And the nations, it says, will bring their glories into it. Every skin color, every characteristic, all the wonders of these nations that have been so corrupted by sin will be redeemed as peoples from every tribe and culture are redeemed through Christ, and they will bring their glories into this eternal heaven. And the Bible tells us that the gates there are never shut. What does that mean? It means it's always safe. You close gates because things can get dangerous. The gates are never shut. And the Bible tells us there's the tree of life there. And the fruit is always being born for the healing, the perpetual healings of the nations. The nations will war no more. They are perpetually healed. But there's one tree that isn't there. It was there in the Garden of Eden, but it's not in the eternal heaven. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil. It's not there. Why? Because there's no more probation. There's no chance. There's no chance of a fall from grace ever again. There's no chance of a rebellion. If our present heavens and earth are wonderful, and they are, even in this fallen state, what will the eternal heavens be like? Then I saw a new heaven and an earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and there was no longer any sea. The sea in Hebrew culture was a sign of chaos and separation. No more chaos, no more separation. I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride beautifully dressed for her husband. And I heard the loud voice from the throne saying, "Look, God's dwelling place is now among people, and he will dwell with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them and be their God. And he will wipe away every tear from their eyes." That day's coming, dear saint. There will be no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. Brothers and sisters, there is a great day coming. There is a new heavens and a new earth coming. People can ask all sorts of questions. Well, we know the sun's going to burn out in 5 billion years or what. It's not a problem for God. If you read the creation order in Genesis, light existed before the sun. God himself will be our light. It's going to be a whole new order. We as Christians should live like children on Christmas Eve, perpetually, on our tiptoes, filled with wonder, filled with expectation, willing to live for Jesus no matter what it costs us, because heaven is ahead. And we are looking forward to a new heaven and a new earth, the home of righteousness, and the nations redeemed and perpetually at peace, and God in our midst. Well, we'll take one more session together to look at wonderful things about heaven, and we're going to look at 5 questions worth asking. Bless you.